Welcome to part 10, everyone. In this part, we are going to focus on building a watch list. I'm going to cover everything you guys need to know on how to find stocks, how to filter stocks, how to build a master watch list based on your trading style, and how to actually have a routine on finding different stocks. So now we're going to start off with the first video, which is intro to building a watch list. So in this video, we are going to cover what is a watch list, the importance of a watch list, and building your watch list. Now, first and foremost, what is a watch list? A watch list is a list of securities, once again meaning stocks, options, whatever the case is, that are being monitored for potential trades. Now, what you guys have to understand about stocks is that there's like over 14, 15,000 different stocks, right? So you can think about that. There's over 15,000 stocks out there. Now, obviously, we can't humanly possible, like it's not humanly possible for us to watch 15,000 stocks at a time. So the idea of a watch list is to build a list with a few set of stocks that are aligned with a certain criteria. That criteria can be, hey, I'm looking at stocks that are between $5 and $10, and I want to look for stocks that have average volume of, let's say, 500,000 a day, right? So once I do that, I will be able to filter out of this 15,000 list to stocks that identify in this criteria. And based off that criteria, depending on whatever criteria you're looking for, based on whatever your trading style is, I can build a watch list that's kind of surrounded and styled around me. Okay, now this is an example of a watch list. If you guys take a look right here, so you can see I have one of my watch lists up. It's called the Daily Focus Watch List. So obviously when we set up watch lists, we're going to have multiple different types of watch lists. This is one of my watch lists. So this watch list for me kind of represents the stocks I'm focusing on for that day. Now obviously when you are trading, you can design it however you want. I'm going to give you my outline, what I use, how I use it, and take it from there. But you guys can customize this to any word you want, any sentence you want, or any kind of style you want, right? But this is the way I go about it. I have one watch list called the Daily Focus. Now, on my Daily Focus watch list, you can see I don't have 20, 30 different stocks. I have a few set of stocks, which I'll explain why they're on the list. And they're on the list because these are the stocks that I'm focusing for the day. They maybe have a potential play, they maybe have some catalyst, or they have something going on that's interesting to me that may possibly give me a move up or down, and I'm watching them for the day. Now, instead of me watching 15,000 stocks or 12,000 stocks, which is, once again, impossible to monitor all of them, I have a small list that I'm focusing on that I can put all my energy and focus into, which will most likely give me a play and be a lot easier. Now, if you take a look right here, we have stock Apple, AAPL, the last price, how much it went up by in percentage, how much it went up by in dollar value, the daily volume, and then I have HTB, ETB, which means is it hard to borrow or easy to borrow. And then obviously you guys can see a lot of other different stocks. So this is one watch list. When you guys build your watch list, it's going to change on a daily basis or a weekly basis depending on how you trade. Now, what is the importance of a watch list? Now, the importance of a watch list is it helps you narrow your focus into potential plays. Like I mentioned, instead of you looking at 15,000 different stocks or 5,000 different stocks or 2,000 different stocks, you narrow your focus down to maybe 10 stocks, maybe 15 stocks, maybe even 5 stocks, or sometimes even 1 or 2 stocks when there's not a lot of potential plays out there, right? It also keeps everything organized, right? So I have multiple different watch lists for different categories. Like I have a watch list for sectors. I have a watch list for the overall market. I have a watch list that's called my Daily Focus watch list. I have a main watch list, which I'm going to break down once we get to that part, but I have different watch lists that organize different set of stocks or different set of things that I want in that compartment. Now, when you also have a watch list, it's easier to develop a roadmap, meaning when you have a strategy, depending on whatever strategy you have, you can outline your strategy to focus on a certain set of stocks. So my strategy, once again, as I mentioned in the last few videos, is I am focusing on scalping and day trading options. Most of the trades stocks I'm watching are consistently the same stocks on a daily basis. Sometimes they change based on catalysts, sometimes they're switching up, whatever the case is, or sometimes they even stay the same. So me having that, it allows me to focus on my strategy, focus on the way I'm trading over and over again, and I don't have to wake up and switch up my strategy or switch up the stocks I'm looking at on a daily basis, right? Now, how do we find our stocks, right? So cool, there's 15,000 stocks, I got it. How do I find the stocks that I want based on a criteria? We find it through something called a stock scanner. So we use something called a scanner. So we scan for stocks. What is a scanner? So a stock scanner is a software that can look through countless stocks based on a criteria you set out. So for example, once again, let's say I want to scan for stocks that are trading between $50 and let's say $200. If I hit this into the stock scanner, it's going to get all the stocks in the marketplace and just give me the stocks between this price point. I can also search for volume. I can also search for financial information. I can also search for stocks that have a certain amount of float. I can also search for certain technical indicators. Like, hey, find me all the stocks trading between $50 and $200 with at least a daily volume of 500K that I don't know, is above the 200-day simple moving average. So basically, my stock scanner will identify and find whatever stock I'm looking for based on my set criteria. And I'll go over different criteria for you guys based on what you're looking for, but you can set out different criteria based on whatever you're looking for in the marketplace. Now, when you guys are building your watch list, here's just some tips. Keep your watch list fresh, right? You want to keep your watch list fresh on a weekly basis, right? You don't want to like set a watch list one time, let's say on a Monday, and then 3 weeks later you go back to it and say, whoa, like what's going on? No, on a weekly basis, and this is part of your routine, which I'm going to get into, you want to check your watch list and you want to say, okay, is it fresh? Do I know what's going on? Is it all up to date? Is everything good? Do I know what I'm trading this week? Do I know what's going on this week? Once again, I will go over in the routine section. Next, tips for your watches, don't go overboard with the number of stocks you're watching. When you guys create a watch list, do not have 50 stocks in one single watch list because that's way too much. Like at this point, you're watching way too many stocks, right? Next, keep it simple and separate each division of categories. So once again, like I mentioned, I have different categories. Like I have one that's market, I have one that's for sectors, I have one that's my daily focus list, I have one called my main watch list. Some people like to have a watch list for let's say stocks that they're going to short, or maybe stocks that they're going to swing trade, or maybe stocks that they're investing. Whatever the case is, you can set out different watch lists based on different criteria, but on each watch list, you don't want to have, once again, like 50 stocks. Like my watch list, maybe the biggest watch list I have is my main watch list, probably has over 20 plus stocks. But beyond that, every other watch list is kind of compact and very focused on that section or on those categories. Now, what should I consider in my watch list? And this kind of kicks in on just knowing what you're trading. Obviously, whatever stocks you're trading, there's liquidity. You want to make sure that there's liquidity available. You want to have market indicators, right? You want to have SPY, ES, TIck, ADD. Like you want to have all these presented in one watch list. You want to have something called a daily focus list. You can call it a day trading list or my day watch list or whatever you want to call it. That's up to you, right? You want to have something for sectors, a watch list that just focuses on sectors, right? And then obviously when you do have a watch list, when you do have these built out, you also want to have you want to focus on price. What type of stocks are you focusing on? What's the minimum volume you want? Now, minimum volume, just to give you guys some clarity, I always say if you guys are scanning, look for 500K plus. Like at least look for 500K plus. Like I'm looking for stocks with at least 500,000 plus shares traded, right? And then price, that depends all on your type of trading style. If you're someone that's trading the big names like I am, then you're not really going to focus on the price aspect because now you're just focusing on market cap, right? You're trading stocks that are massively large, over $2 billion plus their valuation is, right? At that point, market cap is what I'm going to care about. But now if you're someone that wants to trade mid caps, small caps, then you can say, you know what? I only want to trade stocks below $10. And if that's what you want to do, that's totally fine. That's totally cool. Go for it. But once again, all of this has to be based around your trading style, and you have to make it easy for yourself. Now, just to wrap everything up, having a watch list is very, very important. In the next upcoming videos, I'm going to show you guys different softwares you guys can use, different ways you can find stocks, how I have my watch list built, how my routine is, and kind of show you different insights of the whole idea of building a watch list, the process behind it, and kind of take it from there. Right now, this is just elementary stuff that I'm going over just to kind of give you guys an introduction. But moving forward, we're going to dive into different concepts, and then we're going to build out a master watch list towards the end.